Hello, everyone. There we go. I want to get rid of that. So this is my second video in my Blocksi series, and this is going to be about actually using the tools. So again, to get to Blocksi, there are a couple different ways for teachers. You can go to the Lowell Public Schools page, and underneath staff resources, it's listed there. You can go into Clever and list it there. Personally, I just go up to Blocksi.net. And it brings me here, especially if I'm logged into Chrome. I'm all good. So here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open my class. And you got two things going on when you open your class. Up here, I have all of my things that I can do. And then down here is where I have my students. So I have one student in my class. It's my daughter. And I have her Chromebook next to me. So it's not actually her I'm spying on. But that's what you would see. You would see so you would have 24, 30 little Blocksi blocks with the student's name. And it's going to tell you that they're on because I have her computer up next to me. And right now it just says Blocksi. So every single block would say Blocksi. And it will say that until you click the start button, until you click your session. In the last video, I told you that you could do kind of like it's set to start on its own. I personally don't like that. I'm a manual kind of person. I want to control it. So I'm going to click start, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my session, and you're going to see automatically that her screen changes. Pretty cool. So I'm going to start from the top though. Okay, so here's some information. You really don't have to worry about this. Actually, no, I'm going to stop it again because I forgot here because I want to show you the top right here. So I have a couple different things I can do. I can add teachers. And I think I can add paraprofessionals. They're coming up in my list, so cross your fingers. And so what would happen is if you type in a teacher's name, that teacher will come up, and then you can click on them and add a second teacher. So now they would be able to have their screen on wherever they are, and they would also be able to help manage the situation, which is really cool. I can quickly add students here by searching for their student name with their email and or their LACID. I'd be able to look in right through there. This would be good if they're not hooked up to your Google Classroom yet, or for whatever reason. You're going to be mostly rostered, so you probably won't use this a lot, but maybe a kid's jumping in from if you're a middle school or high school teacher and a kid's jumping in from another class, you could just quickly add them to this class right now. Then this is kind of cool. This button here, it allows you to make groups. So I could sit there and create a new group and add a name. So maybe this is your reading groups. Maybe this is you have some kids in your class that are newcomers and you'd like to be able to kind of manage them together. And so you would be able to manage them. You can also start breakout rooms. I haven't played with that yet, but basically this has a feature in it much like Zoom. So you'd be able to do this. So you'll be able to actually break it. And then you'd be able to create their little groups, and you don't have to always do everything in the group. I'm going to show you, but you have the option to do things in groups. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the screen, and I'm going to show you that I automatically see what she's doing. So let's go on down here, and I'm going to click. And so class policy, districts can actually write specific rules like websites they absolutely don't want to be used and that sort of thing. We haven't done that yet because we have our huge filter, but we could if we wanted to. So right now I can see that she is on, sorry, whoops, let me get out of here. She is on her Google Classroom. And I can also see what time she went to other websites. I can get the link, and I can see that they are allowed for now. That is good. Okay, so I can really get an idea of what she's doing. Share student stream to all. So if she was doing something really cool, like on a Google slide, I could share it to all the kids so they could see it. And then here I'd be able to see her whole stream. So that is kind of how that works in general. There's a lot more bells and whistles I'm going to show you. Okay. So then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to talk about the block and allow in another video. Sync. Let's say you get a new student. They get added to your Google Classroom. If you sync it when you start the class, they'll be brought in, okay? We don't use that button as much. This one, the heads up button, is super fun. So what it does, like if you were in the classroom and you wanted all hands off the computers, you would click the heads up button. In a remote setting, you might be like, guys, I'm going to be doing a read aloud, so I don't want you playing around on your computers. I think though it would take over the Zoom, so we might not be using that this much. I haven't tried it yet. If I was Zooming and using it, it might knock them out, but I'm not. Yeah, I probably would. But the heads up looks like this. You'd say how long, many minutes you want it for, and you confirm. Although if you are an in-person teacher, this would be super, super useful. It gets their hands off the computers. And I do confirm, and they are going to get a little screen like this. They get it on their screen as well, heads up, and they really can't do anything else other than that. So I'm going to cancel the heads up. There we go. So like I said, it's a little bit more difficult in a remote setting because it's going to take over the whole Chromebook, so you're probably not going to use it. But in person setting, that's really cool. My favorite by far is the share and enforce. So you can share an actual website. You can also enforce a website. So I'm going to show you. Let's say I have this great Time for Kids article I want us all to read. And I don't want to spend the time having them go into the Google Classroom and click on it and open it and have separate tabs and this and that and whatnot, what have you. I'm going to click here and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come back to my Blocksi. And I'm going to click my share and enforce button. And I am going to do input URL, and I'm going to paste it. And I could have 5. Maybe we're working on 5 different websites. I could do that too. I'm going to share the page. Here we go. Here is the selected group. So if you had a specific group of kids that you wanted to share things to and not everybody, you could do that as well. I'm going to do share page. And I'm going to splice into this video that on my daughter's computer, the page popped up. You'll be able to see it. I have a little video I'm going to put in here as well, okay? So, and you'll see right in here, the page popped up. How cool is that? I can see it. So, let's say I want only this article. I have an article here from Newsela, and I want only this article to show up. That's it. That's the only thing. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paste it. Now, when I do that, you know how I pushed out the Time for Kids? It's not going to like take it away totally off their computer, meaning that I pushed it out and it will stay on the browser a little bit. You'll see. When I enforce a page, it is going to turn around and only allow the kids to work on that tab. The other tabs are existing behind the scenes, and that's why I said, like, we don't get rid of the Time for Kids, but they can't use it right now. And it's for a time period. So maybe you're saying, guys, I want us to read this article. We are working on this together, and that's all I want it to do. And I want us to work on it for 5 minutes, okay? And I'm going to push confirm. And again, I'm going to splice in a video that is going to show you that she was able to, the Newsela article, actually, she gets a little pop-up that says, this is your enforced, and then she clicks on it and it brings her here. So we don't have the Newsela, so she can't sign into it. What happens, and I'm going to show you this in the video too, is that if she tries to open any other page, it literally will not allow her. It will remind her that she needs to be here. So like I said, any other tabs they had open are still behind the scenes. But right now for this 5 minutes, they can only be on this page. Super cool. Absolutely super cool. So then I would come back. I could either let the 5 minutes run or I could stop enforce. And now you're seeing that hers came back. So there's that Time for Kids I pushed out. So you could at the beginning of the day be like, I need you to do this. 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 So we're going to stop there. Another thing you can do is you can message all. Now, I have found on a MacBook, the message doesn't come up as easily. I actually haven't seen where it comes up yet. I think it goes to their Blocksi account, which kind of makes it useless. But on a Chromebook, if I do good morning all, and again, I'm going to splice in my video. I send it, it comes up as a message on their Chromebook, good morning all. So it's a good way to give out messages. I'm going to do assessment and conference in another video for you. Share screen. At any point in time, I can share my screen. At any point in time, I can sit there, share my screen, whatever I want. So the same thing you do inside of Zoom, but this would be really good for asynchronous lessons. Like if, you're not on the Zoom right now, you can push this out. So you can share your screen right there. You can do all of those things down here on each kid. So I could save a screenshot. Let's say somebody was on something naughty. I could take a screenshot and it will save it for me. I could use the share and enforce tab for just this child. I could send a message to just this child. I can do a heads up for just this child. I'm going to talk about assessment in another, and the share student stream. Again, that would be like the, oh my God, they did amazing work. I want you to see. Another thing down here, and I'm researching it a little bit more, is the take attendance. So you can come in and you can sit there and say present, and you'd be able to mark everybody as a present. I haven't figured out yet where the attendance goes, so I got to figure that out. But I can update attendance, and it says 1 present, 0 absent. And I can actually launch webcam mode, that it turns on their webcam and sees if they're physically there. That's pretty cool. So just wanted to show you guys that stuff for right now. Like I said, I'm going to do assessment and conference and block and allow in another video. I hope this was helpful. This could be super powerful. And the way I'm thinking about it is that it can be used for when you're not on the Zoom, when Zoom fatigue is going to set in. And if kids aren't on the Zoom and they're working, this is another way that you can manage and communicate and share your screen and all these different things that you would be able to push out videos to them and really be able to keep an eye on them, but give them a break from being on the Zoom. I hope this helps. Bye.